Hey, hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau Jr., and welcome back to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. Hey, today I want to talk about kind of a topic that we really don't get a whole lot of training on, and that's listening, and specifically listening while you're doing something else. It's called divided attention, and it's possible, right? We do it all the time. I mean, we may be at work working on our computer and the phone rings and we'll pick up the phone and put it on our shoulder to rest it there, and we're kind of looking up stuff on the computer or maybe listening to stuff or maybe looking for a notepad while the person's talking. You know, we all do it. And the thing is, when you're doing tasks while listening to somebody else, you're not really listening effectively, because no matter what it is, your attention is somewhere else besides just listening to that person talk. So the entire message is not getting through. Now, some people are super duper amazingly skilled at doing this, and maybe they could, but for the most part, we aren't. And, I'm guilty of this. When Jen comes and talks to me in the house, man, if I'm watching TV or if I'm on my computer working, or if I'm, a lot of times I'll work in my phone, I'll scroll through my phone and I have good notes on there and I'll take notes and I'll, stuff like that. But if I'm scrolling or on my phone or doing anything, I don't get her message. I don't get it all. And she has got to the point where she knows this. So what I have to do now is, if she comes over and I'm doing something, she'll stand there a little bit and she'll say, "Hey, when you get a chance, can we talk, or can I tell you something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And if I keep working, she'll just stand there and she will wait for me to stop. And I get the message. We've talked about this. I literally have to stop what I'm doing and look her in the eyes and have her speak. And sometimes she'll tell me stuff because we're business partners. Sometimes she'll tell me stuff and I'll have to get out my iPad to take some notes and stuff. And I'll take notes while she's talking. That's the one exception. But even then, sometimes when I'm taking a lot of notes and she just said something really important, she'll wait for me to finish. And I'll finish, I'll look up, and she'll keep talking. But even when I'm taking notes, I mean, think about it. Have you ever heard somebody or listen? Maybe you listen to this message and take notes sometimes, and maybe you've had to pause it and go back or rewind. I do that with books all the time. I listen to books on Audible, and I'll be listening and I take notes. And sometimes I got to pause and I'll go back and I'll go back and I'll pause and I'll go back because I want to get the best notes possible. Well, when we're just listening to somebody, think of it as our mind is taking notes, invisible notes in our brain. The problem is, if we're doing something else, we're also putting that in our brain, whether it's scrolling social media or writing something or looking at something. I mean, just looking at a picture on the TV, even if you pause the TV, that could be detrimental because you might be thinking about where it paused and the background and stuff while somebody's trying to talk to you. So, the best way that we can solve this and the best way that we can listen and have that divided focus is, don't have that divided focus. Stop doing what you're doing, turn and look at the person and listen to what they're saying. Nod your head. That's called reflective listening. Maybe, say, "Oh, yeah, I got that." I do that with coaching a lot. As people are telling me, I'll reflective listen. I'll repeat things back. I'll nod my head at times because a lot of times we're in person, a lot of times we're on Zoom. But they could see me, I could see them, and I see how they're listening to me, and they see me too. And I should be looking at them when they're talking. I should be looking at my camera. And, the thing is, when somebody is telling us something, and a lot of times when we're thinking of something else, we are processing what they're saying, and we're kind of throwing our perspective in there and trying to listen to them and plug in our perspective so we can understand it. And a lot of times by doing this, we're plugging our perspective in, and what they say and what we hear may be two different things. Because a lot of times we hear what we think we hear, but we may not hear what's being said because we're tagging that message with our perspective, with our experiences, and then we're finishing sentences maybe. So by doing that, we might be missing key ideas and key topics and critical things that they might be saying. A lot of times we might blow people off and they might be providing valuable insight because you never know who's going to give you important information and who's going to not give you important information. But the bottom line, if we're not listening, we're not going to fully understand. So that's why I really want to encourage you to listen to understand. Look at them, listen to them, practice that reflective listening. And that will take that that divided focus off the table. And now you will be focused specifically on them. Now, a lot of times, Jen and I will get in a fight or an argument, or we'll talk louder than normal, but that's communicating. I want to just throw that in. But sometimes I'll just look down because if I look at her, I'll get upset sometimes. And I don't know if y'all have experienced that, but hey, that I am better off looking down or even closing my eyes and listen to her than look at her and get more heated or more upset about what she might be saying or what she might not be saying. So sometimes you got to look away from people, but ultimately don't be doing anything else. Give them your undivided attention, your undivided focus, because only then can we really truly listen effectively. Hey, that's it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and come on back tomorrow because tomorrow's Friday and I'm going to talk about how we can get away from worrying. Because when it comes right down to it, worrying is useless. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. So, hey, until then, run to your challenges. We'll see you.